Hello! Hi! And welcome yourself right on back to Wintertime Flowers. Hope you're doing well. The last time we were together, there's some feelings hanging in the air, and they're definitely probably gonna threaten to upend Suo's investigation for a little bit, because amitié feelings need to be nourished. They need to be fortified, and maybe Suo's newfound independence and trying to take everything on herself in both her council life as well as obviously the things that she's trying to uncover has got Rika feeling a certain way. So don't know how far we're gonna get in addressing that, because these things kind of unravel in a real slow way sometimes. The feelings of these matters. So then we're also dealing with a lot more of Suo kind of getting brain trapped by her stepmother's words and voice. It's not going good for her. She's got a lot on her plate. Things are definitely moving at a clip that I'm not sure she was prepared for. My stepmother's words acted as a trigger. Whether in our room or in the classroom, I find myself following Rika-san out of the corner of my eye. Her presence is often missing from our room as she works on tasks unconnected to our council work. And while she's still a central figure of the classroom, I feel like she disappears with relative frequency. Neither of us is the kind of person who can give less than 100% to a task. Unfortunately, this means her work is now eating into the time she would previously have spent with me. Managing this stuff, especially like when you're in a group, when you're in a mandated friends group, sounds like such a hassle. Good lord. Like, the amitié system is obviously, I think it's a good idea in theory, but there are definitely some issues that we did not think about. And adding a third person obviously can create a third wheel scenario, but then you have the issue of you know, not like maybe feeling too close, so that like when you're kind of like going about your own normal everyday life, it can sort of feel like you're maybe, you know, shutting someone out. Or when you start becoming a little more independent and doing things on your own, the other person feels worthless and useless. And this is all part, you know, it all really just comes down to communication. And this is a series that I feel is largely about communication. And that's going to have to be the theme that this chapter digs into, I think. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a little neglected. However, that's not what's really getting to me. At first, no one seems to think anything is amiss. She's looking down at her documents, seemingly engrossed in them, as she often is. Oh no, it's happening with her too now! She's out in La La Land! This is not good! The president and the vice president of the council, Nakaya, are both out in La La Land most of the time these days. It's gonna be up to Suwabuki to kind of keep things together, it looks like. When she still doesn't respond, Suwabuki-san reaches out to touch her shoulder and snap her out of it. That's when it becomes obvious that she's focused on something other than the meeting. Rika-san starts to hand in, stares. Okay, starts, yeah, okay. There's that localization creeping in again. Rika-san stares at the hand on her shoulder, then looks up at Suwabuki-san with unfocused eyes, although waking from a dream. Sometimes it takes only the slightest reaction to betray oneself. Rika-san's gasp and slight jerk make it obvious that she's miles and miles away. She blinks and bows her head apologetically to the rest of the council, who are taken aback by this uncharacteristic behavior of hers. But ain't nobody doing good now. But Suo's also worthless. We can't have you being worthless too. Realizing that she's about to say something rude, Suwabuki-san swallows the rest of her words and lowers her gaze at the other members and her sharp looks. Nah, she's right. I've been kind of wordless lately. I pick up the thread for her. He's a very hard worker. Everyone smiles and nods, accepting my implication that it's something we can blame. That it's not something we can blame her for. Looking relieved, Suwabuki-san also sends me a bashful smile. This girl could do this in her sleep. This girl literally just pours tea in her sleep at this point. She stands up with a gracious smile. As I watch her head over to the tea set, I wonder what she could be brooding over. Could she be hiding something just like me? Maybe she doesn't want to be like around you because it kind of hurts to be around you because she knows that you're not sharing something with her. And you know that like she would literally do anything to help, and it like that is like a knife in her poor little heart. Watching her back, I desperately want to ask her what it is she feels she can't tell me and why. This is so hypocritical. Stop it. You can't do that. I'm sorry, Suo, but I'm with you most of the time, but I feel like this might be a time where we have to point at you and go, now hold on, stop it. We're gonna have to get Erica in here and talk some sense into both of you. Yet at the same time, I know it's not fair for me to feel that way considering how many secrets I'm holding inside myself. I heave a quiet but lengthy sigh. All right, here we go. Just what I was hoping for. I'm staring at the scarlet rays of light, thoughts whirring throughout my brain when I hear a sardonic voice behind me reminding me of a certain someone. A faint smile tugs at the corners of my lips. Aww. She's like getting real used to Erica being here and kind of like being her sounding board and also being the person that'll just call her on her bullshit. Hey, it's Ichigo! Yeah, I gotta say, if there's anything that you could give Ichigo credit for, I don't think you could ever hang around her and be bored. She is the kind of girl, she is a go-getter. She is a make something happen kind of girl. I'm surprised to see Ichigo-san at the handle of Erika's wheelchair. They're an unusual combination. Recently, it's not been uncommon to see my bookworm buddy hanging out with another member of the club, Ringo-san. You know what I'm seeing, though? What I'm seeing a lot of, just like in the first couple of chapters, is Ichigo and Ringo kind of like separate. That feels interesting. It feels like they're kind of like branching out more and doing their own thing and not always having to be around each other, because for like, I feel like for the first 3 games, they were just always attached at the hip. Like every scene where there was an Ichigo, there was a Ringo, and like we are seeing so much less of that. So much less. Why does that feel like an awful phrase? Just so much less? I don't... Like my brain just literally ground to a halt there over saying something that I know is a phrase that everybody says, but my brain just caught on to that and said, let's figure it out!
エリカとはさっき廊下で会ったんだ。私としては渡りに船って感じだけどね。
勝手に押されてきたんだが、私にも用があるってことはおすすめの書籍でも探しているとか。
私が部屋でおとなしく本を読んでる姿が
Not in the slightest!
だよな。
She holds her hands out placatingly and apologizes, to which Ichigo-san responds as if she's creeping her out. I can't help but giggle at their amusing interactions. That's so cute. They're like developing their own little dynamics in pairs that you just haven't seen a lot of so far. It's very cute.
私たちの話が受けたみたいですぜ、親方。
誰が親方だ。私もここへ来る用があったが、お前の要件ってのは何だよ。
Nodding conspiratorially, Ichigo-san casts her gaze around to check that we're alone. While the library has been fairly full recently, curfew is approaching. After making sure that the quiet library is empty, save for us, she goes on.
渡りに船っていうのはさ、実は二人に相談したいことがあるんだよね。
What's on your mind, Buttercup?
なんていうかさ、最近りっちゃんの様子が変じゃない？なんていうか疲れてるとも違うし、落ち込んでいる。
I love that we're seeing this like first person now for the first time, because we've seen Ichigo do this a lot. Even in this game where she's like kind of the impetus for like, hey guys, I think like there's something wrong. Like she's like, either she's always been this way or it's something that like she's kind of matured into, but she's become very cognizant of people's feelings and like wanting to be the person to kind of jumpstart either talking about it or doing something about it. And we've seen her, you know, like we know that she's been the one to set things up in the background before. But now we're seeing her do it, and it's actually really cute. Rubbing her jaw, Erika-san nods.
エリカも気づいてたんだ。もしかしてどうしてだか知ってる？
大方2回屋の貝絡みだとは思うが、細かいことまではな。白羽は知らないか？
Maybe it's to do with Tsuwabuki-san. I suggest the first thing that comes to me. Having heard that Tsuwabuki-san had a crush on Rika-san, it's an idea I voice before I really think about it.
へえ、まさか白羽がね。
恋愛話を切り出しますとはな。
Girl talk initiated. The two of them stare at me wearing matching smirks to tell me they're enjoying this. They're referring to me bringing up the mere mention of romance. Why would they think it's weird for Suo when, like, when she was literally the first one to have a girlfriend? Usually I'd be overjoyed at being able to chat about such thing with my friends, but not today. Yeah, I just can't get into it. In fact, it feels like a hand has reached down into my chest and is now clutching at my heart and making it difficult to breathe.
つわぶきは相変わらずモーションをかけているみたいだけどな。
I say let her go for it. Maybe it's what she needs. Like, I think Rika at this point has to know that her and Suo is probably not gonna work out. And like, Tsuwabuki-san seems real cute. She seems like a great girlfriend material. She's very into Rika. I don't know. I just want Rika to have her own girlfriend because I don't know that I see anything happening between her and Suo at this point. Or maybe she has noticed and it's like, maybe she's kind of having that problem that Yuzu had at the start of autumn where she didn't really like, maybe she doesn't know how to like rebuff it, or she doesn't want to do it because it might hurt and she doesn't want to like actually hurt her. Ichigo-san says, peering into my face, Her smile has been replaced by a look of concern. I thank her, though I'm still not entirely sure what for. I tell the two of them, both looking thoughtful, that I think she's probably sleep deprived. Which, yeah, if she's not coming back to her room much or she's coming back very late, I do get the feeling she definitely ain't feeling it lately.
やっぱり2階への貝殻
This girl some melatonin.
新年度へ向けての準備が多くて、なかなか手が回らなくて。でも、それまでまだ少しあるよね。すぐに手配できることではないから、事前に準備をしなくちゃいけないの。だから夜遅くまで作業しているみたいで。
Ichigo-san frowns and folds her arm in a gesture that looks adorably grown up on her small frame.
そうか。協力できるやつならするん
Aw,
だけど。
let Ichigo help. Even her enthusiasm would be like a little ray of sunshine to boost morale.
そう言ってもらえるだけで嬉しいわ。ねえ、そうちゃん。今一番大きなお仕事って何？
Yeah, what's the big project you're working on right now that's going to be the center of a mystery at the end of this chapter? I explained the three major events to her: the school information session, the Bible presentation ceremony, and the orientation event to welcome the new students.
オリエンテーション。
Orientation! Oreotation! It's where we get to eat a bunch of Oreos. She's so excited.
オリエンテーションはどうしたの？さっきの説明だと、私たちが入学式の時に先輩たちから受けた。
You know, I was waiting for them to do the orienteering joke again. And no, like Ichigo just knew what orientation was. All right.
それなら私的にもアイディアを出して。
God, she would be a great help during orientation, actually. Wouldn't you absolutely want to have somebody as enthusiastic and bubbly as Ichigo on that team? Get her on that team. Take that help. Absolutely let her on board. Again, this this so plays into her strengths. Like she would knock it out of the park on an orientation. She thumps her chest in a leave it to me gesture.
私的にもアイディアを出すけど、みんなからも意見を聞いてみるよ。こういう面白いことはみんなの意見も聞かなきゃね。
I think her head's in the right place here. I don't think you tell her no. Hello? Before I can stop her, she's already rushed out of the library. Erika-san and I look at one another.
私は本当にいい友達を持
You
って
do. You absolutely do.
おうなかなかうまい皮肉を言うように
The
なったじゃん
fine art of sarcasm.
本心
知ってるよ
She meets my gaze, a feline smile curling across her lips. There's a softness to her features that isn't simply attributable to the warm red light of the setting sun.
リカさんにも同じことを思っているわ。
There you go. There you go. Knock her out too.
名前
Stop
が
it.
きやすい
Stop it. Don't want to hear it. Her cheeks red, and not just from the sunlight. I feel my heart clench in my chest. I've been through a lot since arriving here, but I'm genuinely glad that I enrolled at the academy. Erika's repeated whisper of "I know" only contributes to that feeling. From the way she turns away from me, scratching her head, I can tell she's trying to hide from me the deep, steadying breath that she draws.
なんていうかさこんな雰囲気の時に言うのは野暮天だとは思うんだがお前に会いに来た要件っての伝えるよ
Her cheeks still flushed, giving her the appearance of a much younger, frailer girl. She opens her mouth. Oh, are you cutting me off? Of course you're cutting me off. It's the morning of the Sabbath. Some time has passed since I spoke with Erika-san in the library. After attending morning prayers and eating breakfast, I'm enjoying some much-needed relaxation when the door to our room swings open, causing Rika-san to jump in surprise. Oh yeah, let's go! Who would not want to have an orientation? There you go, they're making their pitch right now. Let's do it. The twins announce loudly, taking Rika-san by the arms. Oh, this is so good. I would never want to leave this school, even if I did the Bloody Mary ritual, if this was my orientation. If you don't know, allow me to explain. Ichigo-san sings songs in response to Rika-san's suspicious question. That's what I was gonna say. Oh.
いや、私は部屋に押し入ってきて腕を掴まれている理由を知りたいのだけれど。だ
からオリエンテーションだよ、りっちゃん。
You're about to be orientated, bitch. Enjoy it.
なんで蛇口をひねったら水が出るのみたいな当たり前のことを聞いた風な顔をしないで。
Rika-san shakes off Ichigo-san's hands, her braids bristling. Ichigo-san her what the heck? Hold on. That's one of those tricky text boxes. Rika-san shakes off Ichigo's hands, her braids bristling. Ichigo-san folds her now free arms and regards her. That just felt like words to me. That just felt like words to me. No, you take their help! Clearly not seeing that as much of an answer, she looks to me and Ringo-san for backup. She sends a glance my way. Of course, there's a reason they haven't mentioned that I was the one who instigated all this. They want to maintain the surprise. Because they're your friends. She nods and delivers an old-timey affirmation. Then she goes on saying that they did some research about the orientation. Exactly! Let these two rope them around the school for like a half hour. They'd knock this out of the park. With that, the twins each take one of Rika-san's arms, sandwiching her in between them, and flash big grins my way. Quiet! Be accosted and orientated, woman! The orientation rehearsal followed the same tour path we took as the first-year students. Although I didn't actually participate in our original orientation back in spring, we exited the dormitory, then made our way toward the main school building. Ichigo-san keeping up a stream of narration about everything we passed while Ringo-san pointed out the various flora and fauna living in the forest. We stepped through the tunnel of the cherry trees and arrived on the school grounds, where they took us on a tour of the gazebo, the garden, the greenhouses, and the allotments. Then we returned to the front of the main building before heading inside. I don't know, it sounds like they knocked us out of the park, Chief. Hell yeah, they deserve that tea! That's where this was all leading to? Is this what y'all were doing? Rika-san asks as she pours cups of tea from the teapot set up in the cooking club room. Drinking the tea she's already accepted, Ichigo-san shakes her head.
こそが私的に訴えたいことなんだよ。
She takes a bite of a chocolate chip cookie before continuing.
今まで私たちがやっていたのは球体のオリエンテーションでしょ。学院の要所を説明する。
Yeah, like let's take this, like the idea of this Council of Nikaya was to take the current ideas that are working, that we all know and love, and work a little of our own flavor into them. Always work to improve.
それが本文じゃない。
でも悩んでいたって聞いたよ。なら何か新しいアイデアを取り入れようと考えていたんでしょ。だからこれなんだよ。
Rika-san sets the last cup in front of her and settles into her own seat. She shoots me a questioning look.
いちごさんが言っていることは今までのように要所を巡るだけでなく、
Make it an interactive experience. Take them to the cooking club. Like, let them get their hands on things. Like, take them to, like, the art club. Like, maybe let them, you know, dabble around with paint a little bit. Go to the chorus room. Everybody, like, gets to sing a little bit. Make it fun.
しかりですよ。
The twins nod over their tea while Rika-san, finally cottoning onto their idea, murmurs that it sounds interesting.
つまりレッスン室に案内した際、実際にバレエを踊っている
Do it while a lesson's in progress. There you go.
どんな風に授業が行われているのか体験できるようにしようということね。
そういうこと。実際私たちも場所の把握はできたけれどさ、レッスンを受けるにあたっての詳しい説明なんてのは教えてもらってなかったでしょ。千鳥が踊っているのを見物させたら
There you go. Who's gonna sell you better on real awesome dancing and get you to want to take them ballet classes than like the #1 star? I imagine Takasaki-san dancing in front of the brand new students. She'd immediately become their idol.
でも隣でエリカさんが睨みを聞かせているわよ。きっと。
I think they they can handle it. A smile finally blossoms across her face as the rest of us smile with her. We chat for a while about the orientation and other random topics. Rika-san and I haven't had many chances to talk recently. I'm reminded how fun and relaxing it is simply to chat with friends. Eventually, after we've all had several refills, Rika-san half-jokingly tells us that we're going to deplete the stores of tea leaves.
これもオリエンテーションのリハーサルの一環だよ。
Ichigo-san puffs her chest out proudly.
どういうこと？
これも見るより体験の一つに組み込めることだよ。調理室をただ案内するんじゃなくて、
私が紅茶を
Host a tea party! There you go!
それもいいかもしれないわ。
Rika-san smiles as she pours another round of tea, telling the twins she's impressed.
いろいろ他の人にも相談したけど、これもいちご姉と昔話をしたことから思いついたのですよ。
Ringo-san takes over for her.
以前祖母の付き添いで病院に通っていた時期がありましてね。
あら、それは。
今は対価ないのですが、祖母が診察を受けている時に待合室でおじいさんがペットボトルの蓋を開けるのを苦戦していたのですよ。いちご姉はこう見えても人はいいですから。
Despite appearances.
と手伝ったのです。
お年寄りに親切にする。素晴らしいことだわ。
ええ、話はここで終わらないのですよ。
Ringo-san continues.
おじいさんの代わりに蓋を開けて見送ったところで、シニア用の開けやすいペットボトルを作ったら売れそうじゃないと。
いちごさん。
何？その残念な人を見る表情。祖母に聞いたところ、お年寄りは皆開けづらい、もしくは開けられないと言っていたのです。だから 改良するべき箇所は大きなところで
Exactly. Points for improvement can be found in little things as well as large. Yeah. Ringo-san nods enthusiastically, concluding that it was this memory that prompted that realization. Hearing this, Rika-san strokes her braids, looking impressed.
小さなところから私は新しい基軸を作ろうと考えていた。だからダメだったのね。
You were going like you're not like yeah. You're going like macro scale when maybe you need to go micro scale. Like look at things like, you know, that was the whole point of where you started with this whole council business. That was Suo's whole pitch, is like, we want to take everything that we have already, move all that forward, but just kind of add some spice to it.
ダメではないわ。ただ物の見方は人それぞれで、佐々木さんたちはとても優しくて素敵な考え方が。
Yeah, like your ideas aren't bad. It's just maybe they're overscoped. Maybe you're thinking too much. You know, it's way easy to overthink these things. Like an orientation, like the way that they're approaching orientation is perfect.
そうじゃ。エリカ先生が人たらしですね。
I stroke Ichigo-san's head as she hugs me tightly. Then I address my Amitie partner, who's watching us with a hint of jealousy in her eyes.
エリカさん、もう一箇所だけ付き合ってほしいの。
Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? The darkness has a tawny luster, like moonlight through the covering of cloud. What? Somewhere in the dimness, a buzzer sounds reverberating throughout the spacious room. What are we doing? Oh, are we doing? Oh, are they gonna do a little dance to cheer her up? Oh my God, yeah, let's go! The sound is quickly replaced by a light, jaunty melody. Rika-san watches as the scene unfolds in a recreation of that summer's day. Aww. The Sasaki sisters dance lightly onto the stage and perform their dance. That thing. Just like last time, Ringo-san acts out her mime as the white cat. Rika-san's eyes crinkle as she watches the noble cat stroll across the stage, charming and elegant. As the music changes, Puss in Boots, Ichigo-san hops lightly onto stage to frolic in a playful dance with the white cat. The refined white cat and the wild Puss in Boots cavort and caper like the sisters they are. Their comical performance draws laughter. At the same time, their skill is captivating. Their dancing is even better than before. Look at them go! Ringo-san comes in close to Ichigo-san as she leans into the arboresque penche. Ichigo-san supports Riko-san in an oh boy. Yeah, it's gonna go way too fast for me to read it, so I'm just gonna let this happen. Then their frolicking dance draws to a close. Just like the last time, the white cat cuts across the stage in that Puss in Boots chases after her until they both exit the stage. Yeah!
すごいわ。
It was! We're all impressed. Cheeks flushed, Nika-san applauds them enthusiastically. Don't drink water while reading visual novels. Well, drink water while reading visual novels. Just try not to choke yourself. Cheeks flushed, Rika-san applauds them enthusiastically, and the twins reappear on stage to deliver a deep bow.
どうだった？
Praise them!
以前よりもずっと良いわ。すごく良かった。
Oh, she's so happy.
そう言っていただけると頑張った甲斐があったですよ。
The two cats wear identical feline grins. Recovering from her overwhelming sense of admiration, Rika-san slips back into the role of vice president of the Council of Nikaya.
バレエを教わりたいからこの学院の門を叩く生徒も多いというし。
It's a good idea to end it with a little recital. Exactly. But this was also a little way to cheer you up.
そうでしょそうでしょとも。そう思ったからここで踊ってみせたのだよ。
The final place we asked Rika-san to accompany us was the St. Joseph Theater.
りっちゃんさんの役に立ったのならよかったですよ。
Oh.
そんな役に立たないわけがないわ。素敵な考えよ。こうして。
Glancing up to where I'm waiting in the corner, she abruptly stops when she sees that I'm holding in her hands, and her eyes turn suspicious.
このヨゼフ座に来てもらったのはスオさん？
We're in here because I want to bring my amitié partner back to her usual cheerful self by dancing for her.
いちごさんやリンゴさんが踊ったように、その
Oh.
バレエ発表会の
Oh.
もしかして。
This time she cuts me off, pointing at the wicker basket that I'm holding. Feeling my cheeks heat up, I nod.
赤ずきんの演技、私が披露するわ。
Rika-san squeals and claps her hands together, but there's still one more thing.
リッカさんへお願いがあるの。
When I take a step closer to her, I see a little shudder run through her body.
赤ずきんの演技だけれど、
Oh.
他に役の方がいなくて。
Oh.
私がスオさんと一緒に。
She blinks rapidly as though she can't quite believe what she's hearing. Then, after a brief moment, delight blossoms across her features. Yeah!
私スオさんと。
Turning that frown all the way upside down. I hold out my hand to my ready and willing amitié partner, and she takes it reverently, like she's accepting the proffered hand of a prince. A tune, cheerful, but with an underlying tranquility, starts to play. Oh, this is so cute. We begin our dance. Swinging my basket, I stroll through the forest, aware of the gaze of my audience. I recall the steps from the summer recital, performing the same mime and showing off the position of my feet. Then, surprise! And point, I take quick steps backwards, opening up space for Rika-san as the wolf to dance onto the stage. Unlike my simple steps, she jumps high, pursuing me with great jits and force. I don't know, dude. Do not ask me to read French. Then,
リッカさん、スオさん。
with a smile, I allow myself to be captured sooner than I did the first time I performed the routine. Intuiting her intention, I entrust my entire body to my amitié partner. Despite the restrictiveness of her uniform, her movements are light and elegant as she offers her hand to me. After raising me up in a simple lift, she laces her hand with mine. She dances from an arabesque to an attitude. Momentarily, she releases my hand, only to find it once again. The arabesque displays the flexibility and sleek curves of her form, distracting me from my own steps. extended hands entwined, we twirl in a slightly sloppy but ultimately graceful attitude. The view out from the stage is steeped in a dark sepia, making me feel like I'm inside an old movie.
最後よ、私に預けて。
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? My amitié partner in full ballerina mode. A smile tugs at her lips. We perform the final lift, the world spinning around us. Our spins widen with each turn until the curtain comes down on the stage with the gentle wolf embracing Little Red Riding Hood.
素晴らしかったわ、リッカさん。かっこよかったよ。さすがクラスに。千鳥に土をつけそうになるほどの実力は健在ですね。
Chest still heaving, she laughs, telling her that she doesn't feel like that doesn't feel like a compliment. All danced out, my amitié partner seems fulfilled.
りっちゃんも元気になったみたいだし、作戦成功だね。
They're so good.
作戦って
You let it slip.
語るに落ちたとはこの
Letting the cat out of the bag. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Sighing, she sends a worried glance my way, but I reassure her that it's fine.
その最近りっちゃんが元気ないっぽいから、なんというか、そうちゃんが一見を案じたってわけなんだよね。オリエンテーションのことは嘘ではないですけど、こっちのバレエが本命だったのですよ。好きなバレエを一緒に踊れば元気が湧いてくるのではと。
Rika-san's eyes are wide with disbelief.
いやいや、いつものそうちゃんなら平常運転でしょ。大切なアミケが落ち込んでる
Oh,
の
look at this. Just throwing that aloe on that wound and rubbing it in ever so gently, soothing this poor girl's soul.
私たちとしてもお手伝いはしたかったですしね。
She bites her lip and hangs her head before the two grinning cats. I'm about to freak out, but Ichigo-san stops me.
狼が赤ずきんに泣かされる。
Oh.
おかしいですな。
Rika-san raises her head, tears glistening in her eyes.
ありがとう、いちごさん、りんごさん。
Then
本当に嬉しいわ。
oh. She presses her hot body against mine, her arms wrapping around me slightly. Words would ruin the moment, so I simply rest my cheek against hers and gently stroke her hair, feeling her quiver beneath my fingertips. What a nice thing to do. It's so nice. Ah, why is this series so nice? It's so nice, like at all times. Oh, it's unbelievable. Finally, a chance to put my feet up.
用意ができたわ。
Finished with the tea preparations, my amitié partner turns to me. How long has it been since we last had a chance to relax like this?
早く準備も整ったものね。
Well, there are still some details that need ironing out. With a little help from our friends, we've been able to finalize preparations for the 3 biggest events organized by the Council of Nikaya. Those events being the school information session, the Bible presentation ceremony, and the orientation event to welcome the new students.
スオさんのお好みは蜂蜜にミルクたっぷりだったわね。ありがとう。
She pours room temperature milk into a warm cup placed before me, then adds the strong dark tea. Seriously, one of these days, I will play through this series again and count every tea pour because there has to be well over, I'm gonna say well over 150 over the course of 4 games. It's well over that. It has to be. Now for the honey. Get in the cup. Boom. So smooth. She scoops up two teaspoons full of honey and deposits them into the cup too, making my tea smell and taste sugary sweet. She makes her own cup of honey milk tea, although she adds only 1 teaspoon of honey to hers. She playfully lifts her cup and we clink them together. I raise the fragrant liquid to my lips. My taste buds delight in how slightly astringent taste of the tea leaves is softened by the milk. Beneath it, the sweet smell of honey curls its way into my nostrils and I feel my shoulders relax as though a physical weight has been lifted from them. Tea is like science. Like I could never figure it out. Man, I just buy tea in a can. That's all I know. I've had really good tea before, but I just know I could never make it. I'm too much of a buffoon. I listen in admiration to Rika-san's informed opinions on tea. Like, where are you getting all these fancy ingredients like raspberry honey? This is stuff you're only gonna find at a fancy pants rich girl's school. I ain't got no raspberry honey. I don't even know that I've ever seen raspberry honey in my life. I nod to myself, absorbing the knowledge that the faint hint of raspberry is coming through from the honey. Yeah, I never knew that. She claps her hands together. Listening to Rika-san chattering excitedly, it hits me how long it's been since we've had one of our tea parties together. Speaking of tea parties, I expect Rika-san to jump at the idea, however, she kind of wants this moment. This is kind of like a special thing. She kind of just wants to live in this moment for now. This tea for this moment, a special thing between you two. She doesn't seem particularly thrilled. I stare at her, surprised by her muted reaction. Sensing the question in my gaze, Rika-san laconically informs me that it's because of the cold. Or that. Gazebo's not the place to be hanging out right now, not in the midwinter. Well, we can't really do that, can we? We do have responsibilities as members of the Council of Nikaya. I clap my hands together, but Rika-san only frowns, telling me that won't work. So just let this little tea party be a cute little thing that you did together. I think that's really just what she wants, and I think that it's right for her to want that. I think that's okay. You have tea parties all the time with everybody. When's the last time you just had a nice tea party with your bud? Come on.
そうよね。
But I get also, like, Suo's perspective is that she just, like, is still overwhelmed with this idea that she has so many friends and just like, wants to be around them all the time, that it can be, like, you know, like, hard for her to notice when this one person, especially the one that's supposed to be, like, really important, you know, kind of wants to have a little alone time, kind of wants to have a little Suo time to herself. She's right. Still, I can't help but feel like the close relationship we cultivated from spring through the autumn is fading away. And that makes me incredibly sad.
ごめんなさい。意地悪を言ったつもりはないの。けれど。私が考え出したんだわ。お茶会はしたいけれど、最近忙しいのもあるし。
Busy? Perhaps she sees the doubt in my eyes. After all, we've already dealt with the main council events because she quickly apologizes and hangs her head.
私が無理を言ったせいで、リッカさんに気を使わせてしまったわね。ごめんなさい。そんなこと。でも、こうして二人きりでお茶会ができるようになって嬉しいわ。
There you go. There you go. This is what she wants, really. For a long moment, Rika-san stares into my eyes and smiles and tells me she's glad too.
紅茶のおかわりはどう？次はコーヒーのブラックがいいわ。え？もう。
Laughter bursts from her lips as my repetition of a joke Mayuri once made. Then she gets to her feet to pour me a fresh cup. I regard her, back turned to me, as she tells me that she'll make us honey tea without milk this time.
シオンマスキアについての調べ物が再開できる。
Rika-san potters around happily, telling me that a fruit honey will pair best with the black tea. Smiling, she picks up a jar with a drawing of an orange on the label. As I watch her dip a teaspoon into the translucent liquid, I resent myself for not being able to come clean with her. Yeah, that's still gotta feel real bad! I cross paths with her by chance. Oh.
どうした？ずいぶん黄昏ているみたいだな。
Still got some shit on your mind that you haven't told the person you need to be communicating with yet? God, Erika just knows. You know she knows!
ちょっと眠れなかったから外を眺めていたの。
Erika-san stops her wheelchair beside me and joins me in looking out at the scenery.
なんだ？白羽が外を眺めているんだから、森をさまようウェンディゴでも見つけたかと思ったぜ。
I return her feline smile with my own, telling her that I have encountered a brand new mystery.
私が新しい七不思議？冗談だろ。
You are kind of a bit of a mystery in your own way.
ハロウィンの時の魔女姿が可愛いって注目されていたの。それで七不思議になりそうな冗談ね。
可愛い魔女ジーニー。
I dream of Jeannie, the wheelchaired witch of the dorms. Jokingly, she puts her hand together like the titular genie in the American
お
sitcom.
前のハロウィン衣装の方が決まってただろ。ゾンビメイド、夢に見そうだった。
Or my nightmares.
本当？嬉しいわ。
皮肉が通じないってのは辛いな、おい。
She looks down, grumbling to herself, but soon raises her head again to look out at the silently falling snow. Her face is perfectly expressionless. I'm entranced by the delicate beauty of her androgynous features.
おう、悪い。なんだか雪を眺めていると、つい感傷的になっちまってな。
She answers languidly, as though her thoughts are still out there in the snow. I ask her what she's doing here at this time of night.
そいつはこっちが言いたいところだが、私は保健室に行った帰りだよ。予備の薬が切れちまった。
エリカさん、病気なの？風邪？
そうじゃない。毎月やってくるいつものあれだよ。私のはきついって言ってたろ。
It's the Aunt Flo problem. Always visits, never welcome. She answers like it's no big deal, but I feel my neck and cheeks flush hotly as I catch her meaning.
ごめんなさい。
冗談さ。本当は喉風邪でね。大したことはないが、引き始めが肝心だからな。
Oh god, that's always the first sign of a cold for me. It's like the day before I get a cold, I will feel like a scratch, a bit of scratchiness or soreness in my throat, and it's just like there's nothing I can do to stop it. I already know. And I also weirdly burpy. I don't know if how that's related, but sometimes like I like my throat is a little scratchy, but not sore, and I get burpy, and it's just like I'm waking up tomorrow and I'm gonna have a goddamn cold. She grins, showing off the jar of pills. Realizing she was teasing me, I flush even hotter and feign boxing her around the ears.
悪い悪い。ついお前を見るとからかいたくなっちま
Yeah,
うんだよ。
Suo is definitely that person that kind of just has that look to her. It's like, you just kind of want to tease her. It's a good thing, though.
古いカートゥーンでもあるだろ。猫とネズミの追いかけっこだよ。猫はお前だ。
You are much more of a cat.
のが似てる。
She smirks at me.
だとしたら、ネズミはエリカさんだわ。頭脳明晰で、何でもさらりとかわすところがそっくり。
Regular Tom and Jerry here. I don't give my comment much thought. But Erika-san's expression turns sad, and I immediately wonder whether I've said something wrong.
さらりとかわす。
Always dodging, huh? Always dodging, huh? I'm not sure what to say now.
すまない。どうにもこの時期は嫌なことが浮かびすぎる。常に頭の中は楽しいことを考えてなくちゃな。
Yeah, I get that way kind of towards the end of the year. Like Christmas through the start of a new year can always be a real volatile time for me. Sometimes it goes okay, and sometimes it's, oh god, yeah, this is the worst depression I've ever had in my life. She scratches her head roughly.
なあ、前に話したやつだが、そろそろ1月も終わりだ。千鳥のことでもう一つ相談したい。
Want to talk to me about Chidori?
お誕生日会を開きたい。
Yeah, her birthday's coming up. Let's go. It's birthday time.
正解。さすがは名探偵だ。プレゼントだけじゃなんだしな。
プレゼントだけでも十分喜んでくれると思うけど。
あいつは私からなら歯ブラシだって喜ぶだろうが。なんていうか。
Oh.
千鳥には。
Oh, she wants to give her a cute little birthday party. Ah, God. Oh, the softer side of Erica is just so much. It's so potent. It's so real.
家の事情で当たり前に経営
Never really had the same experience. She's never had a birthday party. Oh.
ベタだろうが、今しかできない経験だろう。
Hell yeah. My chest floods with warmth to see how deeply she cares for her Amitié partner.
白羽探偵に頼めば万事解決だな。
It's kind of how everybody feels about her, I think, at this point. I nod. Clapping my hands to my chest, I tell her to leave everything to me. Someone I once knew wrote that we walk away from our dreams afraid that we may fail, or worse yet, afraid that we may succeed. Yeah, that's from Finding Forrester. February 1st. Happy birthday! birthday! Over 20 girls are gathered to celebrate Chidori Takasaki's birthday. The group consists of most of our class as well as several upperclassmen who have received one-on-one ballet instructions from her. Erika-san brings the birthday girl with her to Iznik, and as soon as the door opens, we all yell out our congratulations. Takasaki-san freezes, eyes wide with surprise.
どうした？名前通り豆鉄砲を食らったような顔をしているぞ。
もしかして私のため
Heck
に
yeah,
集
it
まってくれ
is!
たの？
当たり前だ。お前の誕生日祝いだよ。さっさと会場に入れ。主役がいないと始まらないだろうが。
Still looking bewildered, Takasaki-san does as she's instructed. Slowly, her expression relaxes, and she turns a dazzling smile on us all.
みんな私のために集まってくれて
So nice! This is so nice! And with that, the surprise birthday party goes into full swing.
千鳥お誕生日おめでとう。
Aww.
いちごって私よりも年上だったの？このクラスの中では一番早生まれなのだよ。意味合い的には正しいですが。
Technically, you were born after Ringo! Yep.
千鳥お誕生日おめでとうございますです。
As I watch her thank them with a breezy smile, I think to myself how much Takasaki-san has changed. The days and weeks spent with Erika-san have softened her.
お、なんだ？お前はお祝いしに行かないのか？
エリカさん。
まあ今は謝辞を述べる列が渋滞中だが、佐々木姉妹が長くやっているから、そろそろ後ろの委員長が切れそうだな。
Following her gaze, I see Ichigo-san handing her over her present, a knitted hat with ear flaps. It looks like a frog. It's really cute, but for some reason, Takasaki-san's smile seems pasted on.
ありがとう。大切にするわね。私的に秘蔵の一品ですぞ。これは冬のお出かけが楽しみですな。
Wear it out every chance you get!
せっかくだけれど、これは家に帰った
I'll
時
save it for when I'm back home! Thank God for school regulations. God, isn't that always the worst when somebody gives you like clothing that just like this is so not me. How did you think this would work for me? And then you kind of have to like never talk about it again. Or in some cases you force yourself to wear it once. I end up doing that way more often than I've done that way more often than I've just never like worn something. I always try. A cat-like smirk graces Erika-san's face while Ichigo-san looks a little crestfallen.
エリカさんのプレゼントは
ちゃんと用意してあるよ。これで忘れてちゃ目も当てられない。
She looks questioningly me for my own offering, and I show her the perfume I've brought.
お、香水か。そういえばお前って匂いに敏感だったものな。
I don't have a good nose on me today. Allergies are got me all sniffly.
気がついているやつは気がつい
If
てい
you
る。
know, you know.
しかし、プレゼントに香水か。いいセンスだな。私もそっちにすりゃよかったぜ。
エリカさんの手作りの方が何倍も嬉しいに決まっているわ。
If you say so, she mutters to herself and scratches her head, pulling an exaggerated grimace.
おっと、そろそろ渋滞の列も消えたみたいだ。
Let's go make our offerings to the great Chidori. Twisting her mouth into a sardonic smile, she nudges me over toward Takasaki-san. She's pleased by the perfume I give her, but...
嬉しい。わざわざ私のために編んでくれたの。
Oh. As I expected, she's 100 times more delighted by the handmade gift from her Amitie partner.
縁 も竹縄ってことでな。
All right, time for me to get out of here. Let's not make me the center of attention. At her signal, the door opens and the members of the Council of Nikaya enter with Rika-san at their head, bringing several large cakes with them.
これって。
一つだけあるショートケーキはお前の誕生日ケーキだよ。作るの結構苦労したんだからよく味わってくれよね。
My heart swells as I watch Takasaki-san fling her arms around Erika-san. I'm sure that everyone else feels the same way. The happy scene giving us the kind of fuzzy feeling you get after listening to a sweet fairy tale.
お仕事先でサプライズケーキをしてもらったことがあるけれど、こんなに心が。
This is like 100 times more special because it's from all your friends.
お前が心を語るとはね。出会った頃のお前に聞かせてやりたいよ。
Gosh, it like she's not even like being sarcastic or her usual catty self. She's just like legitimately happy to see Chidori happy, and she's not afraid to like express that openly around people now. She's come so far.
もう私はね、ブリキの木こりじゃないから心があるの。
She never would have been caught dead saying such things back then. Takasaki-san has changed under the influence of her book-loving Amitie. An indescribable feeling fills my chest as I watch my bookworm buddy smiling.
ショートケーキは私作だが、こっちのチョコのホールケーキやらフルーツがどっさり乗ったホールケーキは白羽会長作だ。みんなでこいつらをやっつけちまおう。
Everyone cheers and thanks us for our efforts. I get the idea to make extra cakes when I was helping Erika-san with the birthday cake, and we ended up making too much batter.
さあ、お誕生日ケーキが来たからには、お約束のろうそく騎士をやろう。
Oh, we perspective shifting again.
彼女と彼女のアミティエとの物語は続く。
Oh, we're doing this. Oh, okay, hold on. The girl. Okay, the story of the girl and her Amitie continues.
学院に入学した彼女たちは
Upon enrolling at the academy, they were assigned to be each other's Amitie
ア
partner.
ミティエになったいき
The
さつは
circumstances that led to this aren't recorded in detail. She simply writes that things got difficult.
記されていた。そして
Then, without revealing what that might mean, she talks about the various things they experienced together as Amitie partners. We're reading some... Huh?
苦手な教科を熱心に教えてもらったこと。
Hello? Oh. How her Amitie enthusiastically tutored her in the subjects she struggled with.
オリエンテーリングで組んだ時に
How when they were paired up during orienteering, she sprained her ankle out of foolish sense of pride. The other girl helped her.
それを機に互いに友人だと認め
How that was the point at which they acknowledged one another as friends. How they struggled through classical ballet lessons together and practiced together.
そしてアミティエと時を重ねる
She writes how, as they spent more and more time together, they came to realize
綴られていた
that they were falling for one
ア
another.
ミティエと向き合っていると自分には
When
ない
she
美
looked
しさ
at
に
her
惹かれていたの
Amitie,
だ
she was entranced by the beauty she
顔の強
lacked.
さではない
Not the physical beauty of her face, but the natural light and vitality that burst forth from her, like her body simply couldn't contain it.
自分の中から
A light that had long been extinguished in her.
アミティエが何かしら真剣に
Whenever she was engrossed in something, her Amitie partner would lay her hand on her knee, her fingers tapping out a
指
rhythm.
で膝頭をリズムをとって叩くそんな癖すら愛らしく
Even that habit she found endearing.
綴られることの葉は熱を帯び
Passion infuses every word she writes. Her yearning for her Amitie is almost tangible.
しかし
However,
ある災いが
in
私
a
たちを
trembling
変えてしま
hand,
った
she
ので
tells of a particular tragedy changed them.
私は彼女たちの身に何が起きたのかを見届けるため
Nervously, my heart beating in my chest like the wings of a moth, I turn to the next page to find out what happened to them. Oh, you're cutting me off. You're cutting me off! What is going on here? This... Okay, we're going into a new chapter. Boy, this one's cruising.
オズの魔法使いという
There's a children's story called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
物語は
The story begins with an orphan girl named Dorothy living with her Aunt Em and Uncle Henry on a farm in Kansas.
突然起こる
One day, a disaster strikes, a hurricane. Dorothy accidentally kills the Wicked Witch of the East, rescuing Munchkin Country from her evil clutches.
マンチキンの国を救い脳みそのない形
She meets the Scarecrow who lacks a brain, the Tin Woodman who is missing his heart, and a cowardly lion who has no courage, and together they go to the Emerald City to see the Wizard of Oz.
そして
At an audience with the wizard, he tells them that in order for Dorothy to return to Kansas, she must kill the Wicked Witch of the West.
理不尽な要求
After overcoming many trials and tribulations, they're able to fulfill the outrageous request, but when they return to the wizard, he turns out to be a fraud that can't send Dorothy back home. Her friends try everything they can to get her home. Finally, they learn that the Good Witch of the South, Glinda, may be able to grant their wish. The Good Witch of the South informs Dorothy that her silver shoes can take her home. After an emotional farewell to her friends, she returns to Kansas, where her aunt and uncle are waiting for her. When I first read this story, I wondered how Dorothy was able to part with her friends so easily. How could she leave behind those with whom she'd been through so much, more even than her own guardians? The story that begins now is that of a girl who chose betrayal and the girl who accepted it. This is very much about Yuzuriha, I have to think, especially given the Wizard of Oz theming. We're already in chapter 4. This one is just moving along. But for now, we're going to go ahead and call things there. I'm gonna hop right on back. So that was a nice little chapter. We didn't really do much in the way of mystery solving, but it is something that needed to be addressed. This gulf between Suo and Rika obviously needed to be addressed at some point. It's just a matter of time now. Like like Suo's gonna have to give up the game and tell everybody like what's going on at some point, I have to think, because you're not gonna be able to like wallpaper over all of this stuff for long. I don't think you can wallpaper over this whole thing and get much done. She's going to need the help of her friends to get to the bottom of what's going on. And then there are these interstitial bits of narration we are getting at the end of chapters now that I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like they're trying I guess I don't know what's happening here. Like, this very much feels like you're telling me the story of Suo and Mayuri here, but something's missing? And I'm wondering like if that has to do with the mystery that's going on here. But I think it's gonna be a while before we get more of those, because we have a whole new chapter to go through before we get another one of those, I have to imagine. Somebody's reading some recollection of something. And I don't know the time frame of where this is happening. Where it's being read or what it's talking about, like if it's specifically talking about Suo and Mayuri, or maybe like Rika, like maybe it's Rika's recollection or something. I don't know, and it's being read in the future. I don't know. Like I feel it's pointless to try and speculate on things like this right now. We will get the answers, and I'll keep my own theories in my head, or maybe I'll just blab them. Whatever works the best. But anyway, we are finished for now. So, with all that out of the way, we will catch you right back here next time. Thank you so much for stopping by. Of course, appreciate you letting me have a little bit of your time, and I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever you are, and we'll catch you right back here soon.